right? So sure, Bright Green Wizard, why not?
There we go.
You're a bug person, so you can take Defensive Duelist. But you have shield right there.
Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today we're talking about the feat Defensive Duelist.
Carrier post, all those things.
Great.
This is a feat, technically. It's good? Question mark? I've never seen it used. I don't know. Have you ever seen this thing?
I have not seen it used, but looking over it now, I feel pretty good about it.
I don't know. We're going to talk about it. So this is really short. It's from PHP. It's prerequisite dex of 13 or higher. While you are wielding a finesse weapon which you are proficient and another creature hits you with a melee attack, you can use your reaction to add your proficiency bonus to your AC for that attack, potentially causing the attack to miss you. So it's at level 4 plus 2 AC, level 5 it's plus 3 AC, level like a 7 or 11 or something it's plus 3 or plus 4 AC, up to plus 6 it's the AC at the top of the level.
All right.
So it's proficiency bonus.
Yeah. It feels like shield.
Yeah, but shield starts at plus 5.
Yeah.
And it's to all attacks.
Yes.
So like this is not that.
I'm not saying it is shield, but all right, that's the downside. Upside, it doesn't cost you anything to use.
It costs you a feat.
Well,
not a resource, but it costs you a feat. And that's expensive. First question on the table, if we're looking at this, is who wants it, right? If we're gonna if we look at shield and we go, okay, anyone with first level spell slots wants it. Duh. Easy question, right? So who wants this? It's anyone who's using finesse weapons and is in the market for a good reaction, right? Those would be the characters that would want it. So if we look at the finesse weapons, we're looking at daggers, we're looking at the short swords, darts for monks, maybe. I think monks also get they treat their unarmed strikes as finesse weapons, but I could be wrong about that, so I don't know if their unarmed strikes work with it. Monks do have the tools to make finesse weapons work with them, though, so that could be monks. Scimitars, short swords, those are your options. Rapiers are your one-handed options. Whips if you're getting real funky with it. That's not a wide weapon catalog and is pretty narrow as far as archetype goes. So I'm like, okay, what of these characters, what do you build out of those? You got the 2-weapon fighter characters that are using 2 short swords, maybe a rapier or short sword with a 2-weapon fighting feat. You could be like a melee rogue, but there's zero reason to be a melee rogue over a ranged rogue just because bows are finesse weapons with range. So there isn't a lot of incentive to play the dagger rogue or the rapier rogue. So then it's okay, so we're just a dual wielder? Is that where we're
some
at?
people like playing melee rogues.
Sure.
So I mean, if you want
to, is this good on them?
I would think so.
But how often are you ending if you are doing the melee rogue thing? Let's break that down. Your objective is to use your cutting action to disengage and play coy, where you're going and getting hits and backing off. You're not actively trying to take hits because you don't need to.
You're not trying to, but people are gonna slip through the lines. Get to you, but
am I taking a full feat for when those people slip through the lines?
No, probably not.
Right? And that's where I think a lot of holes start to get poked into this as to why I've never seen it. Is I just don't know if there's a home for it. I think you could probably try to build a cool 2-weapon fighter tank build where you're screw heavy armor, screw the traditional means of getting a large AC and a large hit point pool. I'm going to do evasion tank monk stuff, and I'm going to take this thing and have a reaction to block hits and be the whole purpose of me is to be a damage sponge, but with dex instead of con and strength. Cute, cool. I could see that being a fun thing to try doing. I like this feat exists for that reason. But I'm not seeing a lot of archetypes that are regularly going to put this on their sheet and be that happy with it. Right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of somebody, but what about a hexblade?
There's adding charisma to everything, because that's the whole point of why you pick hexblade. Yeah. So they're not even incentivized to have that high of a dex. They also really want to use a greatsword because it gives you the highest damage dice on your charisma-based weapon attacks. So they don't necessarily want the D8 rapier, because remember, the damage cap on a finesse weapon is a D8. So if you aren't doing bonus action attacks, which means 2-weapon fighting, then you're capped at a D8 damage from your weapon attack. Whereas, with strength-based weapons, it's 2d6, which is a big damage difference. You can even go D12s if you're feeling funky. That's like not a lot of characters go that deep, right? Maybe you could do like dex-based heavy armor character that's going rapier plus shield.
Was that a thing?
No. Again, there's not really a reason to, because you could go strength and because you're in heavy armor anyway. Maybe it's like a medium armor shield plus finesse weapon, and then you're still like you're not getting the full benefit of the dexterity in that case because you're capping it with the medium armor.
Right.
Like, where does this go? What is its point?
Oh man, I wanted to like this one. This is. I'm sure there's a home for it somewhere.
I think I agree. I think there surely is a home, and the characters that do exist. Like I keep mentioning 2-weapon fighting offhand. There are plenty of people, myself included, that enjoy 2-weapon fighter rangers, that enjoy 2-weapon fighting rogues, that enjoy 2-weapon fighting characters. Now, you are taking a lot of losses to play those characters. Like rogues in particular feels horrendous because you've got 5 other million things to do with your bonus action. You're spending it on an offhand attack that has a D6 no mods. But like sometimes give you the extra or the sneak attack damage when you absolutely need it. In the case of rangers and whatnot, you're doing the skirmishing stuff or going bonus action for spell casting is kind of tough. Like I like to bonus action, even with the new Tasha's rules, you got marks that you can use with your 2d6 or your bonus action, so you can like mark a thing after you damage it using bonus action, so you don't have a lot of room to get that offhand attack. But maybe, okay, fighter, 2-weapon fighter, okay, short sword, 2-weapon fighter, defensive duelist. Is this the feat for you? Maybe. I probably take this over the actual 2-weapon fighter feat.
Yeah.
So that's a good place to start.
Um.
So a build, we found one. We did it.
All right, so we've got that build. Let's go from there.
Okay.
How good is this on that?
It's probably pretty solid. That's a character archetype that wants to be taking damage, that wants to be in the middle of things, that wants to be playing high dex, martial build kind of deal. You're probably like Battle Master or something, getting the cool trick hits on things. And this is another little tool in your toolbox where every round you got a reaction, shrug off some damage. I can see that being a real home for this and it being pretty solid at its job on that thing. Now, granted, you're giving up an ASI. There not being a +1 dex to this is criminal. If this was released in this day and age, there would be a +1 dex on this, but there isn't, and it also wouldn't have the prerequisite. But like, I think if you got like your +5 dex and you're looking for a defensive feat, or even like a +4 dex, and you're like, I'm the one taking all the hits here, I need something that keeps me alive a little bit longer. Blocking a hit around with a +3, +4 AC in the mid tiers seems pretty reasonable. I do think you want like a +4 on this, or I guess a minimum of +3 on this before I want to take it, just because +2 AC is like, well, you could just be holding a shield, and you could just be holding a shield as a pretty like not a compelling reason to use this instead. So
well, not if you're using 2 weapons, right?
Yeah, but it's like, so the perk of this feat is it's if you're not foregoing a shield for 1 attack a round.
Yeah,
and you get to hold the second weapon. It's not the end of the world. It's not great, but I think you want the higher numbers for sure.
Yeah.
I think like +3, +4 is where you start to get excited about this.
Oh yeah,
and again,
absolutely.
Things hits are getting higher and higher, so it's getting marginally worse. It's still probably fine. It's still like I don't know if it's like bonkers busted there, but it's a thing you will use often, and a feat that you'll use often cannot possibly be that bad. So on this specific archetype that we've nailed in, it's the 2-weapon fighting style fighter build only. Then maybe ranger in some niche worlds. Then we're looking at like a 3 out of 5, pretty solid feat, right?
Yes, on
everywhere else,
few builds.
Yeah, you just don't have a room to or a reason to put it on your sheet.
Yeah.
Like, how many rogues do you take this on over magic stuff, over plus dex, over a lot of the other options that exist?
I'm not, not me. I'm going to go range every time I play a rogue.
Most players do.
Yeah.
That's the same with ranger too, honestly. Like,
yeah,
it's in the name, so it kind of shoehorns people that direction. And you can do cool things with melee rangers, but like, defensive duelist isn't going to find a home on most character sheets of those classes, just because most characters aren't trying to take hits on those classes. You're trying to do ranged stuff and not hold a finesse weapon.
Well, yeah. Hopefully we'll get some comments. I think there are going to be other builds that we haven't covered, but I don't know what they are.
I also shrugged off Monk This is a real reaction monks can use regularly. Like you just all you have to be doing is holding a finesse weapon. But monks love using darts and unarmed strikes. So those two things can work in tandem. You can get some finesse stuff going on with your, short swords or whatever, using the new monk weapon rules, or you can make anything your monk weapon. So you can have rapier if you really want to. I could see this being a feat where monks are otherwise void of them. Yeah, you take this. Why not? It's a free reaction, gives you some bonus AC, helps you survive a little bit longer. That could be cute. And then I even think that's probably a 3 there, just because monks are so starved for like reasonable feats that aren't spell based.
All right, well, I'm just thinking off the cuff here. Other spellcasters, wizards, rogues, like everybody's proficient with a dagger, right?
Yeah, but are you willing it over your spell focus and having an open hand for somatic opponents? Probably not.
What
Like, I'm
if
holding
it
a staff
is your
most of the
spell
time.
focus?
I've recently done a lot about magic items, and I believe most weapons are not violet arcane focuses.
Yeah, well, all right, I tried.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Let me see. Equipment, spell focuses. Hold on, I have the equipment pulled up, right? Nope, sure don't. Like, daggers sound like they would be a spell focus at some point in time, but let's see. Arcane focuses are, drumroll please, crystal orb, rod, staff, and wand. Bum, bum, ba-dum, wow. Nope.
Ah, well, worth a shot.
Yeah. So maybe you're like not Blade Singer because you've got way too many things you want to do on that character. Yeah, I think we've nailed it. I think there's like 2 options in the game that consider using it. It's probably pretty good on those character sheets and not usable anywhere else.
All right. You're a plasmoid, and you wield it in your extra arm. Your pseudopod.
Sure. If you're getting the Thrycreen are a real race that exists from Spelljammer, I think. They gave us Gith and Thrycreen and some other stuff like that. They have extra arms, right? So sure. Yeah. Thrycreen Wizard, why not?
There we go.
You're a bug person, so you can take Defensive Duelist. But you have shield right there.
Oh yeah, that's true. Oh, all right. That was Defensive Duelist. Oh, we didn't rate it. We did.
3.
We gave it 3. Yeah, 3 sounds good.
Seems fine.
For
the characters that want it.
4 specific builds, yes. But yeah, there we go. Defensive Duelist. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Let us know what you think of this feat. Tell us your stories. Have you found it useful? What were those builds on?
Or is it just not even a 3? Maybe this is a 2 or a 1. Maybe this is actually unusable trash. I'd love to hear that too.
All right, let us know your thoughts down in the comments. In the meantime, like and subscribe and all that, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.